Hello everyone, welcome to Business Central launch event. My name is Sandy Winarko. I'm a product manager in Business Central. Today I would like to present what's new in virtual table for Microsoft Dataverse. In the agenda, I will first provide a quick review of Dataverse integration, and then I will show you the latest improvement in the virtual tables that comes with the current release. And then I will introduce Business Event, which is a brand new feature that comes with the current release. And then I will demo all those improvements and new features later. Let's review the Dataverse integration. First, as you know, a lot of complex complex business processes that involve multiple roles and multiple apps. A lot of customers or partners use a product mix of Business Central, Dynamics 365 Sales or Customer Service, and Power Platform together. Because Dynamics 365 Sales or Customer Service and Power Platform, they all run on Dataverse, integrating Business Central with Dataverse will allow Business Central to interact with all or any apps in the Dataverse ecosystem. The wider or deeper their interaction, the stronger and the tighter their integration will be. The stronger or tighter their integration will be, the higher the value of the product mix, such that 1 + 1 + 1 is bigger than 3. The higher the value of the product mix, the stickier those products will attach to each other, and it's the easier for us to cross-promote those products together, and more customers will use them together. So that's the benefit of why Dataverse integration is very useful. Let's go to all type of interaction enabled by Dataverse integration. First, Dataverse is a data storage and management layer for Dynamics 365 Sales, Customer Service, Power Platform. Dataverse integration allows Business Central to interact with apps in the ecosystem, and there are 4 types of complementary interaction enabled by Dataverse integration. Those are data sync, virtual tables, data events, and business event. Let me go through each of these interactions and highlight the recent improvement and enhancement and future improvement and enhancements that will come in the future. First, data sync. Data sync allow replication of data changes when data is created, updated, or deleted between overlapping tables in Business Central and Dataverse. The replication can be unidirectional or bidirectional, and it's not in near real time, but scheduled using a service-to-service calls without authenticated user, where all the data will be duplicated in both Business Central and Dataverse. A lot of our investment in data sync has been done in the previous release. For example, you can now trigger Power Automate flows that run scheduled tasks to replicate Dataverse data changes just in time into Business Central. This is version 21. And finally, bidirectionally, you can also replicate sales orders between Business Central and Dynamics 365 Sales in last version, which is 21.0, right? Now, we are talking about the second interaction type enabled by Dataverse integration, which is virtual tables. Virtual tables enables inbound interaction from Dataverse to Business Central without duplicating the data. The virtual table plugin that you install on Dataverse essentially translate Dataverse CRUD API. CRUD is create, read, update, and delete, targeting the virtual tables in Dataverse into Business Central CRUD API, targeting physical tables in near real time using service-to-service call on behalf of authenticated user. So there's a lot of investment that we have done on virtual tables plugin especially. And this is highlighted next. For example, there's a new customization feature for virtual tables that will allow users to change the labels, icons, and precisions on model-driven Power Apps. So this will be in the current release, 22.0. And coming soon, we will also release a preview of virtual table access through Power Pages. That is planned in one of the minor releases. It will be 22.x. We will know sooner when we come to that closer to the release. And finally, virtual tables has been in preview for a while, so we are planning for a general availability, a GA, in second quarter or third quarter of this calendar year, so within 6 months from now. The next interaction type is data cut events or data change events. These data events actually enable outbound interaction from BC into Dataverse, where they can actually start Power Automate flows via the when a row is added, modified, or deleted trigger. For this, we actually are planning for a preview of enhanced payloads, where the payload of data events can include change field property, pre-image rows or post-image rows that will be that will help automation using these events. Also coming soon, we will make sure that the data cut events will also GA around the same time with virtual tables, which is in the second or third quarter of this calendar year. And finally, the last interaction type enabled by Dataverse integration is business events. Business events also enable outbound interaction from Business Central into Dataverse, where they can start Power Automate flows, but using a trigger which is called the when an action is performed trigger. This one is actually the biggest investment that we do on a virtual table and Dataverse integration in this current release. So we will actually announce private preview of business event with the current release 22.0, and then soon after, in the next incoming minor releases 22.1 or 22.2, we will do a public preview of business event. So let's show highlight that a quick a screenshot of what the virtual table improvement have been done for this release. First, in the customization, you can actually, for example, change the table image or icon of your virtual table that can be seen on your model-driven apps. You can see here, and I will show you also in the demo. Another one is like on each of the field on the virtual table, you can actually change the precision. You can change the decimal places. When by default, it's always have 10 decimal places. You can change it to less precision, like for example, 1 or 2 decimal places, right? And finally, introducing business event, you can see that with business event, later I'll show that in the demo, you can actually use a Power Automate flows where you can pick a catalog of business event, which is called Dynamics 365 Business Central Catalog, and then you can pick many categories. For example, in the private preview, we will actually release 4 categories: account receivable, account payable, purchasing category, and sales category, and a lot of event in each of those categories will be provided. For example, here in the account receivable, you can trigger Power Automate flows when a sales invoice is posted or sales payment is posted, etc. Right. Now, going to the coding, you can actually also implement a business event on your own extension. The 2 things that you need to do is first, you need to define the category where your business event will belong. For example, in this case, in the example, I create a business event under sales category. So you have to define your category using the extensible enum. And then in your code unit, within your extension or within the Business Central base app, where you want to raise an event, you will need to subscribe to an internal AL event, such that when the event happens, for example, in this case, I'm subscribing to the on-posting document event that happens, that will occur in the sales order page. When I subscribe to it, and I will call my definition of business event that will essentially translate internal event into external events. So the definition of an external event for business event here is you provide the event ID, in this case, or event name, sales order posted. You provide the display name that will appear on the third external system like Dataverse or on the Power Automate trigger. You provide the description, and you provide the event category. And then you have an optional extra layer of security to make sure that people who subscribe to your event has the required permission. For example, in this case, you can add a permission such that subscriber to the sales order posted has to have a read access to the sales header table. But that's optional, right? And then essentially in your business event definition, whenever the internal event happens in your extension, you will just call the procedure, and that you will notify the external system or Dataverse that an event has occurred. Okay. So once you define your business event inside your extension or in the base app, external system can actually query to get the catalog of business event that's been implemented. And you can use an API for this. And you can see here, when you call the API external business event definition, you get a list of events that's already populating the catalog. For example, in here, you can see the sales order posted, right? And you can see all the definition that you described before in your code unit. In here, you don't need any a lot of permission. Any authentication Business Central user can actually query to get the event definition or to get the catalog. Okay. Now, once you know what events are actually produced by your by the extension of the base app, user can actually subscribe to those events. In this case, external system or Dataverse in this case can call an API, which is external event subscription, and provide in the API a notification URL or webhook URL that will be called by the extension or by base app whenever an action is performed on Business Central. In here, the permission for this is you need to have read access to the external business event definition table. And you also, essentially, we will also do optional checks depending on how you define your business event, whether there are required permissions that need to be checked, access, read access, or write access, etc. Once you subscribe to the events, then whenever the action that you subscribe happens, Business Central or your extension will actually notify the external system or Dataverse that an event happens. This is where you actually send the payloads to the external system. In this case, for example, the external system is Dataverse. So you can see we actually, in this example, the webhook URL or the notification URL that we provide at subscription time will be called, and we will send all the payload of the event that happens at the time. For example, in here, you provide the timestamp, the event name, the company name, and then the payload. In the case of sales order, you can actually send the sales order ID, the customer name, and the order number. For every notification, we do verification of the subscriber, whether the subscriber still have permission, access to the external business event definition, and whether the subscriber has access to all the required permission defined in the business event definition. Okay, and finally, for our planning for preview, what will happen when we release version 22 of Business Central? Partners will be invited to participate in the private preview via Yammer. Selection of this partner will be based on a form that they will fill out with their scenarios of business event, their AAD tenant and environment IDs that we will enable for preview. So the feature itself is still sitting behind feature flag. So you need to actually get your environment enabled for preview. And then your email contacts such that we can always engage to address your feedback, issue, and question. And we will also make public a GitHub repo for Dataverse integration, which is github.com Microsoft/D365 BCDV. Will be made. This will be public, where you can actually get documentation for preview, documentation on all you need to know about Dataverse integration, including business event, sample codes, and then you can actually take the sample codes and implement your own extension, deploy it on your preview-enabled environment, and then you can try out the business event and provide us with ideas, feedback, questions, and issues for us to improve the public preview. That will happen soon after, in a couple of months, in the minor releases that we plan, which is either 22.1 or 22.2 for public preview. Okay. So with that, let's go see a demo. So for the demo, I would like to show first my Maker portal and show you all the available Business Central that I have already made visible for this demo. For example, you can here In the Maker portal, you go to the Tables tab, and then you can search for Business Central, and you can make them the one that you want to do a demo feasible. For me, in this case, for example, the customer table is actually been made visible. So that means the Business Central customer table can be seen in the model-driven apps in Dataverse. Okay. And you can see here right now the customer table has not been customized, so everything's still by using the default icon, default name, etc. Right? And for example, here in the customer table, you can see the balance due and I think something else here. Credit limit. Everything is still have 10 decimal digit precision, right? We will actually update that later to reduce that precision, to customize it. So let's show. Let's see my demo application, which is called Virtual Tables Demo. Right? Let me run this. So the app, the model-driven is very simple. It just shows exactly the customer table in Business Central, and I can actually show the balance due column to show you. You can see the display name. Everything is still by default customer, right? So now I'm gonna essentially customize the virtual table. Okay. So I will go to here. I'm first gonna change the name of the table, the label. Instead of customer, I will call it Sandy's customer. And then I will change the icon, and you can click on the advanced option, and you can see here the table image or the icon is none. So we can actually find something. For example, I will put actually, for example, my profile as a table icon, right? And I'm gonna save it. And you can actually see the impact right away. Okay. And then I will actually, and you can see here, the name of the table becomes Sandy's customer, columns and data, and then the icon is actually my profile. You can actually see this. Well,
yeah, I guess it is opening, but we don't see that.
You don't see it. That's fine. And now I will actually change the precision of a balance due field. In here, you can click on Edit Column. I can change the name, display name to balance due as soon as possible, for example, right? And then advanced option, I can pick the decimal places from default 10 into 2, and I'll save it. And you can see here on this balance due, you see the decimal place is reduced from 10 into 2, and then the name of the field become balance due ASAP, right? And then it will be this will be reflected in the demo itself. Oh, by the way, this is the icon that's come up. All right. So now I'm gonna run the same demo. It should pick up the same app. It should pick up the customization. Let's see, refresh. Yes, there you go. You can see now the table is called Sandy's customer now with my profile image as the icon. And then if I want to see the precision, let me just show the column of the balance due. You can see the balance due is called balance due ASAP right now. And if I close and apply, you can see that the precision is now 2 decimal places. All right, so that is one demo. Now I will show you business events demo. In here, I have created a business event demo, a very simple one, where I add a trigger, which is called when an action is performed trigger here, right? And here you can select the catalog of events that have been created in the Business Central environment. And here I will check Business Central. There are other catalog for business event, right? And then in the category for private preview, you have 4 categories: accounts payable, accounts receivable, purchasing, and sales. Let's see on accounts payable what events are available. You can see here in accounts payable, you have purchase credit memo posted, purchase invoice posted, purchase payment posted even, right? If I switch my category to accounts receivable, you have more events available. You can see there's an event that will be triggered when the customer is blocked, customer unblocked, when sales credit limit exceeded, when sales credit memo posted, when sales invoice posted, sales payment posted, etc., right? And then you can also look at the category purchasing. In here, you can see the action when a purchase order received and when purchase order released. You can actually emit event on that. And for the demo, I will choose the sales, sales category, and specifically when sales order posted. So now, when a sales order posted in Business Central, this Power Automate flow will be triggered, and it will actually simply terminate with success, right? In a real-world scenario, instead of terminating, you can actually connect this trigger with an API to inform or to notify a third-party or external warehouse management system, send an email, send a message through Teams, etc., etc. But for this demo, we'll just keep it simple. All right, and I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go back and show you all the basically the event that's been triggered in the past. You can see I did it last night. About 3 a.m., right? So I'm gonna trigger a new event. It should appear here, and you should see the payload that will be sent from this event, okay? So I will go back to my Business Central here. I will pick a sales order, right? Let's see the last one. This sales order to Really Cloud. And you can see the order number is 101019. And I will simply post it. What happened is the external event definition in Business Central will be called. The notification will be sent into a Dataverse, and the Power Automate flow will be triggered. So let's go back to the Power Automate flow to see whether it is triggered. You can see here, if I refresh, there will be a new flow that has been started by this event. Yeah, here you go. Here is 26 seconds ago, so the new event that we just triggered, right? And if I click on it, you can see the payload that's being sent from Business Central into Dataverse. And you can see it's the flow has succeeded, has terminated successfully, right? And the event that's being sent is exactly the one that we posted, which is the sales order 101019 from company Cronus USA. So essentially from here, you can actually use, from the sales order RD, you can get more information by using the virtual table to go to the sales order header, the sales header, and find more information about the sales order. And that's it. And thanks for watching. And I look forward to for you to join our product review and learn about your scenarios, feedbacks, and questions. Thanks.